tutorial video is for the steps to create a gravity storm or sewer network. We're going to do a storm network today. After watching this, you should know the steps to create a gravity network that has the correct styles, and we're going to create a data shortcut, bring it into our plot sheet, make sure that it has the right styles and the right labels, and get it into profile and make sure everything looks okay. The site we're looking at here is a creek relocation project we have, and as you can see, the current pipes that go across the road, they come into the existing creek center line, so we're going to need to extend those down. I have created the alignments that you would need to make profiles. We already have our existing profiles run over here, so we're going to create a gravity storm network and then kind of show you the steps that are necessary to get it quickly and efficiently put into the drawing. So you're going to go over to your tool space, and you can right click on networks and say create pipe networks by layout. We're going to give it a name, proposed storm. One of the important things to do here is to make sure you're picking the right parts list. That determines how your pipes and structures look. If you pull this up, the way to make sure that things are going to look right when you place them is to check the style that is set for the manholes or the structures that you're going to place along with the pipes. If these are not set correctly, they will come in with whatever style is set here. So it's very important to make sure that the pipes have the correct style, the structures have the correct style, so things look like they need to. From there, you pick the surface that you want your structures to go to. The top of rim will automatically adjust to that structure. Since we have multiple alignments, I'm not going to pick an alignment here. Our structures are going to each have their own alignment. I'm going to leave the labels alone for now. We'll come to those after we create the whole network. So I'm going to hit OK, and now it brings up this box that gives you your options for pipe size, structure type. You can kind of move it around wherever you want. We are going to go with a regular eccentric 48-inch manhole, and the first pipe is a 24-inch pipe, so I'm going to pick a 24. This here is if you want a structure only, a pipe only, pipes and structures. I want a pipe and a structure, so I'm going to pick pipe and structure and place my structure first at the end of that existing culvert pipe, and then go down to my flow line. So I don't need the second structure. I'm going to go ahead and erase that. And then to get a pipe across the street, I would come down here, hit pipes only. But for this project, we're keeping the existing infrastructure, so there's no need to put another pipe there. We're just tying that into that manhole. So that's all I need for that one. I'm going to do this kind of over and over. You know, there's 3, 4, 5 applications here, but we're creating a network here, so I'm going to go ahead and run through each one. We got an 8-inch pipe. Find the 8-inch. There's not an 8-inch concrete, so we're going to go to HDP. There's an 8-inch. Go pipes and structures. Click on the end point of that existing pipe. Go to the end, and then erase that secondary structure we don't need. This is a 24, so we'll go back up to the CMP. Not CMP, concrete. 24. Pipe and structure, it's ready to go. Click on the end point. I missed the end point on that one. I'm going to erase that structure. This is also a 24, so we'll just click this button again, go to the end point. We have one more alignment that we're going to add. pipe and structure 2. We're connecting an 18-inch, so we'll go 18. Click the pipe and structure button, and that will be all of it. So we now have a network. If you look in your tool space, you have a network with pipes. If you drag that up, it shows you all the pipes you placed. If you click on the structures button, it shows you all the pipes you placed. Now, if you don't name them correctly, it's going to be tough to tell which structure is which. So I like to go back through, and this is line ST1. So I'm going to name it ST1-1, and this is ST2. If there were multiple structures, that would be ST2-1-2-3. So ST-2-1. So now if you look at the structures, it tells you, that way you know which alignment it is and which structure it is. These all just have one structure per alignment, so it's all -1. From this display box here, if you want to zoom to that structure, you can right click, hit the zoom to button, pulls you right to it. Any of those will work in that aspect. Just zoom to, put you there. Makes it easier if you have a large site and a lot of structures. The next thing you want to do is go to your pipes, and this is for the direction arrow label. Go to your pipe properties, make sure that it is set to by slope. If you do it by start to end method, the flow arrow is determined by which way you started the pipe and which way it ended, and you don't always draw the pipe the direction it's going to flow. So it's just a real quick thing to do, and that makes sure your flow arrow will show correctly if you have a large network that you need to see the flow arrow on. I just do it out of habit every time. These structures, since we did not set the alignment for the structures because there was multiple alignments, I'm going to go in now and set the structures, the reference alignment for that structure. That way it'll give a correct station when you try to label it. Click there one more time. And this is the kind of stuff that you have to do for every network. It's going to be off of an alignment. You want to make sure that you're setting the correct reference surface and reference alignment so that the stuff will show correctly in the labels that you place. Alright, so I have preliminary stuff set up. I haven't even begun to look at elevations of how the pipes came in elevation wise. They came in at 829. Just without looking at the profile, I don't know where that is in relation, so we can run real quick and look at this profile. They came in a little low for this profile. This is the line ST1 profile, so we can come over here and we'll make it 835 for a starter. So to get it into the profile, you click on your the two pieces you want in that specific profile. You can right click, draw parts in profile view. I already had the existing drawn in there. We're going to bring that in. You're going to want to bring up the bottom to meet the existing. You can do a 10th drop, but for this we'll just, show it as it is. There's your structure, there's your pipe. It's as easy as that. Each one, I think, probably is just a touch low on the elevation of the pipes. So I'm going to bring each one up a little bit and bring it in. I'll show you another trick that makes this easier, so you don't have to do a lot of scrolling around. This is something that I've started doing lately when I'm working in networks and corridors and things. In your ribbon, there is a view button. Come down, do 2 horizontal, and that splits your screen into 2 pieces, 2 viewports essentially. And it reduces the amount of time that you have to scroll back and forth. So now you have your profiles in one spot and your plan stuff in another. So we can click on this. Draw parts in profile view. Click on ST3 and bring it up. If you click on the middle one, it brings it up uniformly, both of the edges, and then once you got it close, you can maneuver the one you need. These are hanging out a little bit. I'm going to adjust those. I guess I can go ahead and do that now for ST3. If you click up in the top viewport. Just click on the pipe, pull it back, and it'll graphically pull back in your profile as you go. And you just pull it back to where it's close to not hanging out of the bank. So that's another advantage of having the split screen. You can kind of do things and see them live update a little bit. Got one more to do here. Just going to go ahead and bring it in. And then we'll show you some labeling, and then we'll make a data reference. Bring that into our plot sheet. Oops, I selected the wrong profile. Got ahead of myself. Alright, this is the ST5 profile. Okay, so these are obviously short profiles, but I will show you how to quickly label up your stuff in profile. If you go to the annotate, click on the top box, that brings up a box for all labels, and you go down to select pipe network labels. You want entire network profile. We'll pick our pipe label for profile and our structure label for profile. Hit add. And now if you click on any piece of that network. It puts in your label automatically. You can drag that as needed off of the pipe if it's too big to fit in that row. Here's a little trick that will help with maneuvering your labels around so that the arrow stays with the manhole. I don't like them straight up, but I also like them right to the center. So if you click on this label, and then there's a ribbon button at the top that's called toggle label pin. You click that, and this is tricky. So you pull that away, and then move your label back again, and then hit the minimize button to where it sticks back to the square. And then now you can move this all over, and it stays where you want it on the manhole lid. It was quite the process to figure out how to get that to work, because it just does not like to work. I'll do another one here. We hit add. This is entire network profile. Click on a piece in profile or part. Pull your label up, pull your label away. Again, if you click on the label, toggle the label pin, move this one away, and then maneuver your label where you want it, minimize to back to take it back, and then now you can move your label wherever you like, and it stays to the top of the manhole lid, the rim. Okay, I'm going to do a data shortcut, and then we're going to bring that into another drawing so that we make sure the styles work correctly. I'll do show you a couple ways that it doesn't work correctly, and then how to fix that problem. So we're going to create a data shortcut. I'm going to select our proposed storm, say OK. It puts it in the database here. It might take a second. So now if you open up the plus sign, you have your proposed storm in data reference. We're going to open our storm drawing. I think I need to save this drawing first. You can get out of this dual view now also. Save this drawing so that the drawing is recognized as having a data reference. I already have the viewports created for these storm lines, similar to what I did in the design base, but this is the plot sheet. So click yourself into model space, come down here, find your proposed storm. I'm sorry, it's off the screen. Find the proposed storm data reference, right click, create reference. Alright, so same as when you're creating the network, you have to check the parts list. So we're doing a storm sewer, and I'm going to check this here. We're using the eccentric cylindrical structure. We want to set it as, now actually I will leave that like that, because we know we have a 48-inch manhole, but this style is saying it would have been set to an inlet, so it would come in as showing as an inlet. Concrete pipe, it's set correctly, so it'll come in as a storm style. But I'm going to leave this one wrong so that you see what happens if you don't have these set to the correct styles. We're going to use the proposed grade as our surface. We're not going to override any alignments. Now, here's where you can set your labels to be correct. So for the structure label, we're going to go plan, pipe label, storm plan. Actually, let's do this. Let's do the proposed flow arrow. That way I'll show you the benefit of setting your flow direction to by slope instead of as drawn. I'm going to hit OK. I'll bring the network in. So it brought in the network. It also labeled everything for you all at once. The pipes look pretty good. They're the right size, the right color, the right style. The manholes are not the right style. They're showing up as inlets, and that is because in our settings of this drawing, the pipe network parts list was incorrect. And even if you fix it after the fact, it is not going to fix those structures. So it's set as an inlet. You want to set that as a proposed storm manhole. So you'll have to come in, if you do this wrong and you see a structure or something that is not looking with the right style, you have to come in here, and you can change them one at a time, which I do sometimes, or if it's a group of them that you know all need to be a certain style, there's a quicker way to do it. So if you click on your proposed storm, click on the structures, and you can see in the description, it's even reading the description, I need it to be a 48-inch manhole, but the style was wrong when you brought it in. So select them all by just using the standard shift select, and then you have to right click in this box above it, and that pulls up the edit command, and you can globally edit them all to be a storm manhole. And that saves you some significant time if you have 40 manholes or something that came in on the wrong style. So now my manhole is the right style, they have the right label, the pipes have a flow arrow that shows that they are going in that direction. The flow is going towards the center of the ditch. Same process here. I'm going to click on a structure and a pipe and draw parts in profile view. You can just click back in the other viewport, click on your grid. It's going to put the pipe and structure in there correctly. It's a very repetitive, the same steps for the same results. But if you know what to do, every step is very methodical. Do it like this and you'll get the same results. I'm not going to put all those in there, but I just kind of want to show you how the styles worked on the data reference. I have one more thing I want to show you involving crossing pipes. It's kind of something that we deal with a lot. So I'm going to put a pipe into this network. Also, if you need to edit the network, you can click on this over here, right click, edit network, or you can actually pick a part and edit the network by right clicking, edit network. There's several different ways to get into that. You can also, from the ribbon, edit pipe network, pulls up the same box. It's just more of a matter of what you're comfortable with. I'm very right clicky with Civil 3D, so that tends to be how I get into everything. So I'm going to put a pipe only, and this is just for theoretical looking at it, but I'm going to put a pipe that crosses directly the center line of this proposed ditch that we're putting in, and we'll make it 820, 830. This is really just for viewing it correctly. Now I also did not do the start to end to buy slope, but I do it for every pipe I put in. So I'm going to take this pipe and I'm going to draw it into the profile view of my proposed line. So you see it came in looking like that because it's a crossing. The pipe is crossing the center line. So to get it to look correct, the ellipse, you go to your profile view properties, pipe networks. Now there's a couple boxes here in the bottom. You can show only the parts drawn in the profile, which we only have this one part. You also can do show only crossing pipes. When you have multiple pipes, it makes it nice to just go straight to the crossing pipes. you can click here, the style override, and then find your proposed storm pipe crossing. Hit OK and OK, and now it shows as an ellipse. With that ellipse, you can move the pipe higher, lower. You can do kind of, whatever you need, but that is how you get it to show as a crossing pipe if your pipe is crossing the center line alignment. Otherwise, it's going to come in standard and look like this. So I hope this helps. That's the general gist of putting together a storm network, creating a data reference for it, making sure the labels are correct. So I hope everything works out in the future with you and Gravity Pipes.